Good evening and welcome to all. And before we get started tonight, as we've done every night before our meeting starts, we ask that you turn off all cell phones or any communication items. Thank you. Good evening. That's all right. Good evening, Dr. Jones, and I'll now turn the meeting over to you for some words.
Thank you, Mrs. Wade. Over the past several weeks, the board has had an opportunity on several occasions and in various situations and two specific interview opportunities to learn more about how each of the candidates would represent your district and what they would bring to you if they were selected as your next director. I know it's been a busy time for you. The board has been very involved in this process. And a question that I would pose for the board before we determine how we might proceed is, because of the various opportunities you've had, I would suggest two options as to how we begin our conversation this evening. One would be that you each share your perspective on the candidates without necessarily comparing the candidates, but describing what you see as the attributes, the strengths, the characteristics they might bring, and have that kind of sharing relative to both candidates before you proceed with any selection process, if you will, or balloting or polling process. The other alternative is that you can, if you choose, proceed with a ballot to determine whether the board is of a consensus in this regard and how you might then proceed. So I'm posing the two options. One would be to have each of you have an opportunity to share your perspective on Dr. Gilbert and Dr. Bridges, or to proceed with a ballot to determine how you are perceiving the candidates at this point in time.
Thank you for the options. I don't know how the board feels. We've had 2 rounds of interviews. We've had school visits. The board has had a chance to, at these meetings, to ask all the questions that they've wanted to ask of the candidates, but I will ask the board, because we are a board, what is your pleasure? Is there a motion, or how do you want to proceed from this point? Well, I hear silence.
Well, we're thinking.
Give them a minute.
Ms. Wade, I'd like to make a motion that we proceed with a ballot. If we do not reach consensus on the first ballot, then share what we believe to be the strengths of each candidate. If we do reach consensus on the first ballot, then maybe we could take an opportunity for each board member at that time to share the strengths they saw with the candidate that we reached consensus on.
I'll second that, but I'd like to be able to comment on. Oh, sorry. I'll second that. I'd like to be able to comment on both of the candidates afterwards, if that's okay.
No,
Would that be all
fine.
right?
That's fine. I just didn't know if there would be a need.
All in favor with sign of aye?
Aye.
Thank you. We will now call for the first round.
I was asked to remind you to put a number on the ballot so that the secretary can record if there's multiple ballots required.
Dr. Andrews voted for Dr. Gilbert. Dr. Buttram voted for Dr. Gilbert. Mr. Campbell voted for Dr. Gilbert. Ms. Duggan voted for Dr. Gilbert. Mr. Hopper voted for Dr. Gilbert. Ms. Phillips voted for Dr. Gilbert. Ms. Wade voted for Dr. Gilbert. 7.
Congratulations, Dr. Gilbert. Oh, I guess I could get in. I'm told somebody else to get in the mic, and I didn't get in the mic. Congratulations, Dr. Gilbert. And for the benefit of the board members, as their motion was that they would like to have comments after the vote, I do ask that the audience give us a chance to say what we have to say, because we cannot take any comments from the audience. And you have expressed what you feel. If you give us a chance to have a little comment. I'm going to start with Mr. Campbell, because last night I was told, Mr. Campbell.
Do you want to take each candidate, or we just want to take Dr. Gilbert?
Well,
Just make your comment.
Just make a comment, ever what you feel at this time, or if you'd
Thank
like
you,
to
Ms.
go on
Andrews.
You're welcome.
I tell you, I voted for Dr. Gilbert because through the process, and I have gone through and have taken each set of questions for the first initial interview and put a comparison of the two. Dr. Gilbert is a product of our school system. She's taught in our system. She has a very strong relationship with city schools, with not only administrators, but also with teachers as well. I think that she has proven herself to Murfreesboro City School personnel, all the way from the administrators, the principals, to the teachers, even into the clerical and the support staff that's located within each building. I really like the idea that she is her own person, and she is a spade, because I'm that way and I like that. And not necessarily birds of a feather that are flocking together, because I don't want your job. You guys. I think also she sees the board as leaders. She understands that she is an employee of the school board. She also has stated that she is more than happy to work with the board and keep them informed and to communicate back and forth with them throughout everything. She operates on an idea of honesty, and I think that's very good. Her job is to be proactive. The board makes decisions, and it's her job then to make sure that those decisions are fulfilled, and she carries them out. In regards to her core values, truth, integrity, openness, she values every individual. Many, many times she mentioned the students and the children in Murfreesboro City Schools, and I think that is very much important as we look to lead young people today, because we all know of the challenges that they already have, many more than what the rest of us had when we were in school. And I think that's something that she wants to do. Leadership and management, a collaborative type style. I like her statements about it's about we and not I, because it is our school system. It is our school. It's not my school. It's not my teachers. We're all in this ball game together. And believe it or not, and I think administrators will admit to it, it takes everybody in that building to open it up in the morning and close it down in the afternoon, all the way from the administrator down to the custodian, the cafeteria workers, the hourly employees, and everybody is very important. Her legacy, she stated that was a very big word, but the thing she wants people to remember about her is her modeling of leadership and continuing to do so. Management style, when she mentioned communication, that hit me very strong because I believe strong in communication. I think that's something that we need, something that we've not had like we needed to have sometimes. She's very much involved in our community. She has been involved in many, many activities throughout the community and has proven herself to be a leader, to be someone that can manage people, that can work with budgets. And even the things that she's not real positive about, perhaps, she understands that she has a team at the central office and in the schools that can help her to accomplish the goals that she needs to accomplish. I guess another thing that I have really been impressed with, I have a list here of 103 different emails, 104, excuse me.
Oh, there were more than that. You didn't get all the ones I got.
Yes, ma'am, I got some you did not get. I can attest to that. And the people that I got emails from, I answered every email, thanking them for at least letting me know how they feel and to become involved. And I think it shows, Dr. Gilbert, that you have a lot of support. It also shows that you have a lot of people to live up to. But I think that you can do that, all the way from the teachers and custodian that was at the reception the other night that I have known for a long time, and I thought was great that they were there. So it's people from all walks of life, the doctors, the lawyers, the medical people, the ministers, everybody. I like your idea of getting young people involved and trying to lead them in the right way. And to me, you were the best candidate we could find.
We'll now pass the basket and have benediction. Thank you. No, I'm teasing you.
If you don't want me to talk, don't ask me to.
You knew I was teasing you, Ms. Phillips.
I thought it was Sunday morning.
No, thank you very much, Mr. Campbell. We'll now have...
That's nothing like what I do in the Baptist church.
I don't know how y'all expect me to follow that. That's going to be tough, but I do have a few comments I'd like to share. First, I also want to thank everyone who called or emailed to express your thoughts concerning this whole process, and it's heartening to know that democracy is alive and well in our country, and I appreciate everything, no matter what side you're on, sharing your thoughts with us. I also want to take a moment and congratulate both of the final candidates. They each brought something unique and of value to our system, and I'm sure that Dr. Bridges would have served with honor. As to Dr. Linda Gilbert, I am absolutely positive that she will continue the legacy of excellence and innovation for which Murfreesboro City Schools has always been known, and she'll do it with her own signature energy and creativity and just do wonderful things with the position. So I'm excited about that. And I'm also glad in a small way in this holiday season to have had a small part in giving the community a great big Christmas present. Because I know that Dr. Gilbert was on many people's wish list. And so Merry Christmas, Murfreesboro, and congratulations, Dr. Linda Gilbert.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips. Mr. Hopper?
Based on the emails I got, there's going to be a lot of people at your funeral someday. I just want to say I look forward to working with you, and you have my 100% support. You have a difficult task ahead, and I know that everybody's got to help, and I think you will be a great one at helping round them up to get the help we need. And in conclusion, I would like to be your campaign manager when you run for Congress. We look forward to working with you.
Dr. Andrews?
Well, I wanted to first congratulate you. You're going to do a fabulous job, and you have a wonderful community full of people ready to help. Teachers, bus drivers, maintenance, personnel, administrators, they're all there supporting you and ready to help. I want to remind you guys, she had tough competition. Dr. Bridges, in spite of a little bit of kind of negative campaigning that went on, which I'm sure Dr. Gilbert would not have been in favor of whatsoever, she was a very fine candidate. She had experience. She'd worked as a director of schools for 14 years in a tough district. She'd taken that school system from a critical problem with a fund balance to a $20 million fund reserve. She had gotten her system awards from the state for improving the performance of the children in her district. She was a very positive person. I didn't read the paper today. Somebody said that it sounded like her interview was so negative, and I'm going, who was at that interview, you know? But she was a really fine person, and I'm very appreciative that she came here and took the time to interview. Now, what that says, though, is we've got Dr. Gilbert here, and we voted for her because she has shown that she is an excellent educator. She is a community leader that's, I can't think of anyone else who's done as much for this community as she has. You've already said she's a we person. You know, it's not about her, it's about everybody else. She understands that she's going to need strong people in the central office, strong principals, teachers, people in the community to get this job done. She knows she can't do it by herself. She knows she's going to have to back up those people, too. When people come and with complaints and all, she's going to listen, and she's going to back up our folks when they need to be backed up. Obviously, she won't if they don't, but, she's going to be there for them. She brings people together. And we do start with a strong staff. We've got good people in the central office so that even though she's not done this job before, y'all, this is a leap of faith that we're taking. This is a job that Dr. Gilbert has not done before. But we're taking that leap of faith that she is going to bring our system to the preeminence that it deserves, and that our children are going to get the best from every one of us. And I'm really excited and hopeful about what's going to come in the future, and I really appreciate that you threw your hat in the ring. And thank you so much.
Doug?
I'd like to share just a little bit about how I came to my decision so people will understand the process a little bit better. After researching 3 candidates initially and then looking further into the background of 2 candidates, our finalists, talking with individuals in their district, and even though I know Dr. Gilbert, I made phone calls to people that I don't normally talk to just to make sure that my thinking was accurate. But I've taken extensive notes during each of the interviews. I've listened attentively to my constituents, and yes, we've all received well over 100 emails, I do believe, and phone calls, and I greatly appreciate that. We need to hear from you. I reviewed thoroughly the criteria that we set as a board for the hiring of a new director. And over the last couple of days, as I've continued to make phone calls, even as late as yesterday, I was talking to people in Illinois, again, just to make sure that I had covered all the bases I felt like I need to cover. I reviewed my notes and the resumes that we were given, studying each as carefully as I could. So tonight I voted for the individual candidate that I believed had the greatest and strongest and most sound vision for our school system as a unit and yet individually. This individual has very high expectations for all employees, students, their families, and the community, and us as a board, as she should. She's a strong communicator, which is very obvious from all that we've seen and heard. She is a collaborator and a leader, one who has the ability to build a community of leaders and learners, is innovative, creative, and committed and focused on our strengths, but also is willing to admit the areas in which we have need. Because until we admit that there are areas of need, we can't really deal with those and move forward as we focus on our strengths. She understands the needs of the district collectively, and I believe by individual schools. I've chosen the candidate tonight, I believe, who can help us regain lost ground and move our district to higher levels of excellence than we've ever known before. So tonight I say a hearty congratulations to Dr. Linda Gilbert.
Dr. Buttram?
Congratulations, Linda Gilbert. I'm so proud of you. I'd just like to comment a little bit on the process itself also. I do believe that we had some fine candidates that had applied for the position. I believe we had some good candidates that received finalist nods. But it was obvious to me early in the process when I started hearing from this community, because I knew that the need for our children to start improving, succeeding, had to come not from just this board, our director, our principals, our teachers, but it has to come from our community, our parents, and there's just no more natural connection that we could have or have found than Dr. Linda Gilbert. And I just want to read one statement from one of the emails. I'm not going to tell who sent this because they may be in here, but and this is something that I noticed in Linda's interviews. She has a dedication and a passion for our city, our school system, and our children. There is an excitement running through Murfreesboro City Schools right now. That excitement has been missing for a great number of years. And I think just that excitement alone is going to carry us so far. There's just no way we can fail from this point. So again, congratulations, Dr. Gilbert. I look forward to working with you again.
I guess it's the board chair's time. I've yielded to all. Let me say congratulations to you, Dr. Gilbert. You and I have worked on many committees together. I look forward as board chair through this year and next year to working with you and supporting you in your endeavors here. Thank you to the community that took the time to make us aware of what you wanted to see in a director. And I'd like to say thank you to the board for the hard work that you've done. Thank you, Dr. Jones and Ms. Baker, for the process. It was enlightening for me. I had no idea what went into looking for a director, but it gave me a new vision and what you should always look for. I look forward to working with you to take us further. I've asked you, same as I did Dr. Bridges, your vision. Sometimes we don't always see the vision, but thank you for letting us see the vision through your eyes and your interpretation of where you would like to see us go. I can't speak for everybody. I can only speak for me. But thank you for the favors that I did ask when I was working on my master boardmanship pen. Because I worried everybody for different things that I needed to make me a better board member. And I certainly thank you. And at this time, if there's anything else, the board will... Dr. Andrews.
I've got one other thing to say, and it's to thank Dr. Tucker. You all, most of you have never met Dr. Tucker, but she stepped in here, a bit of an unknown person, and within just a few days, she had the teachers and the central office staff on her side. She came in here, she saw what was going on, who was doing what, how well they were doing what people needed, and she gave them what they needed. We haven't been treading water. she's been moving us ahead. She's an exemplary educator who's accustomed to going into school systems and doing the same thing. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank her, and I know she's not here, but I hope she'll hear that I'm so appreciative of what she's done for us. And, you know, we accidentally ended up with the perfect person for the job, and you know, you can't know somebody's going to be that good. So I'm really appreciative of that, and I hope that I'll be able to tell her that myself. Thank you.
Ms. Phillips?
So many people have contributed to this whole process, but I have to just take a moment and recognize Miss Linda Ridley. She is absolutely phenomenal. I wish you all knew how many hours she put in forwarding us emails and coordinating with Dr. Jones and coordinating with Dr. Jones and coordinating with the candidates and getting in the paperwork and just so much extra work and all these extra hours where she's been our board secretary at all these extra meetings. And I bet we didn't give you a raise, did we? No.
Oh, nobody's gotten it.
Would
But
you?
thank you so much. Thank you. I'm done. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna say nothing.
Okay.
Dr. Buttram?
And also in thanking people, I think that we need to thank our attorney, Ms. Kelly Baker, for your service to us during this process. This, again, has been new for all of us. As far as I know, Murfreesboro City School System has never done a search for a director. So this was a new experience for all of us. So your help in this, we appreciate very much. And also to Ms. Cheryl Harris, our community director, who I also know has been a very valuable liaison for the board through the search committee and, of course, just running around all over town taking the candidates. So thank you, Ms. Harris, for your service.
Well, it's open mic time. If you got
Mrs. Wade?
anything you'd like to say?
I want to join the board in congratulating Dr. Gilbert on her selection and congratulating the board on coming together through this process. During the time that we presented our proposal to you, I believe I mentioned that a goal of a search group is always to end up with a unanimous decision on the board so that the new director comes into the situation with support and knowing that he or she will be given every opportunity to succeed. And Dr. Gilbert, I want to wish you success. I feel that the community and the children will be well served, and it's been a pleasure getting to know you. Two other pieces of business, probably not necessary. One is a site visit, which is not necessary.
I want to
So
go.
we can, so we can strike that. The other, I'm going to raise the issue, but it seems to me that there's probably, the credentials have been pretty well established, meaning Dr. Gilbert's credentials have been pretty well established. But we had also indicated that we would do a thorough background check as a contingency of employment. And I need to ask the board if you wish us to proceed in that regard.
I think Stephen's given us all that information already.
Was there a background check completed on Dr. Gilbert when she was a member of our staff here? Do you remember?
No,
Okay.
no.
I wasn't sure if we may have one on file if that's the case.
Do you have a recommendation, Ms. Baker?
I think typically we have to do a background check on any employee. So we'll do what we're required to do under the state law, that background check.
I would think that'd be sufficient.
The next step in the process will be for the board to determine if you wish Mrs. Wade and Mrs. Baker to sit down with Dr. Gilbert and talk about terms and conditions of employment, including starting dates, which will be part of that conversation based upon your selection. is it your pleasure to authorize Mrs. Wade and Mrs. Baker to proceed in that regard?
I move that we authorize Ms. Wade and Ms. Baker to proceed with the negotiations and drafting contracts and presenting those back to the board.
I second that.
There's been a motion and a second. Is there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you. We're nodding at each other.
Thank you.
Well, is there anything else that the board needs to say tonight or would like to say, or?
Can we meet again tomorrow night?
You're welcome to come.
I tell you what, you come on, Mr. Hopper, and you can buy supper for us.
Here
And
without Mr. Campbell.
well, don't show then. When do we meet again?
15th.
Okay.
On the 15th. Before we adjourn, because that is in order next, I do ask that Dr. Gilbert, since you're here, if you would come out.
I don't know if this, yes, it is on. Well, let me say thank you very much. Let me tell you what a proud school district you have, as you know, what a magnificent school district you have. We have a wonderful tradition, but this is not about the past. This is about the children's future. And I am so well aware that we have some folks here that are the most important people in the room, and they're right over there. And I need your children to stand up. And are there any other children in the room? Okay. What it's important for you to know is this is about you, and everybody in this room knows this is about you, and we're awfully glad that you're here tonight. So thank you very much for honoring us, for being here tonight. Thank you. I appreciate going through the process, and I appreciate it because the folks of this district and the folks of this county and the folks of this city have made this their process. This is not about me. They have come together to say that we're wanting to move forward with you. The Rutherford County has made it clear they are wanting to collaborate with us so that we have two magnificent school systems. And I've used that word magnificent, I know, twice now, but I really believe it. So I look forward to working with you. I look forward to talking with you and hearing your vision. I look forward to working with the teachers and the administrators and the bus drivers and the support staff. And I think that we can do something very special here. Somebody once said that when Liz Ray comes to see you, you get your pocketbook out, and when Linda Gilbert comes to see you, you get your sleeves and you roll them up. So I want the folks behind me to know that it's time that we roll up our sleeves now. We have some work to do, and there is not a reason why we cannot accomplish everything that we need to accomplish. So be aware that starting today, folks, we get to work. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to work with you. Thank you.
I know you're waiting on it. Adjourn. We're adjourned.